Welcome to the EPG Padashala, the lecture series in computer science for the postgraduate program. And this is the compiler design course. We are on the 25th module where we are going to discuss about control flow statements and Boolean expressions and generating 3-address code for the same. So, the objectives of this module are to learn to generate 3-address code for control flow statements and to incorporate short circuit information in Boolean expressions 3-address code. So, in the previous module we basically discussed on how to generate 3-address code for Boolean expressions without looking at any particular detail or any optimization that could basically be carried out with respect to Boolean expressions. Now, this module will talk about that. And we are going to also combine the Boolean expression, which is typically part of a control flow statement, and using these combinations how do we generate 3-address code will also be discussed in this module. So, these are keywords pertaining to this module. So, this is what we have actually seen so far, 3 addresses code for declarations, 3 address code for keeping track of scope information of the variables, for array accesses, and for Boolean expressions using a simple 3-address code representation. Now, control flow statements are typically part of any programming construct, and Boolean expressions are typically used along with these control flow statements, where we will have a if then or a if then else or a while do statement or a do while statement construct. Now, this is the grammar corresponding to the control flow statements, where we are looking at the statement. S here refers to statement, and the statement produces if expression, then S1, another statement. Again, this statement itself can be replaced with if expression then statement. Okay, these things we have already looked at in the parser module itself, like how do we write grammar for a if then programming construct. Or it could also be an if expression then statement, else statement, again where the statement here or the statement here could be an if or a if else or even a while or a do while. Okay. So, all these are when I say yes here, it could be substituted by any of these. Now, alternately I can also have a while expression do statement, and then I can have a do s statement while this condition is going to be true. So, you can have either entry controlled statement or an exit control statement in case of a while do or a do while. Now, typically the expressions E, that is part of the control flow statements, correspond to evaluating a Boolean expression. So, we are used to writing like if A double equal to B, or if A is less than or equal to B, then do this, then do that. So, while A less than or equal to 10, you keep on iterating till A becomes 10. So, the expression that is part of the control flow statements is typically going to be a Boolean expression. So, this expression E should be converted to 3-address code, as we already discussed in the previous module. So, with that as a basis, this is then integrated in the context of control flow statements. So, we need to know the syntax directed definition for control flow statements, and then combining this along with the already known SDDs for Boolean expressions, we can generate a 3-address code for a while construct or if then construct or an if else construct, which also incorporates the Boolean expression. So, we just know how to generate 3-address code for the expression alone. Now, this expression is going to be part of a control statement. So, together how do we generate 3-address code is what we are trying to look at in this particular module. Now, this is what we are trying to look at. So, first what happens is you have your grammar as if expression then statement. So, what should be done first? The expression E should be evaluated first. Now, this expression evaluation is done using the earlier already discussed syntax directed definition rule. Now, this expression ultimately evaluates to two values, either it could be true or it could be false. So, based on that, we are generating here two labels, one corresponding to the truth label, other one corresponding to the false label. Now, if it is truth, so you have two labels. So, you normally have a conditional jump which is part of a Boolean expression, and in that conditional jump you go to the true label. So, in the true label, if it evaluates to true, you can go to the true label. In the true label, you have the code corresponding to the statement S1. In the false label will typically be whatever should be carried out if this expression fails. So, the statement which is following immediately after the if then construct should be evaluated, and that will be part of the E dot false situation. So, based on this we have the syntax directed definition. So, if expression then statement, this is your production. For this you generate first label called as E dot true, okay, and you call this as a new label. So, something like your new temporary variable creation, okay. So, you generate a new label called as E dot true, and the E dot false is not a new label, it corresponds to S dot next. Now, the statements will have a begin and a next. These are the two features of a statement. So, we are not concerned much about the begin statement here, rather we are concerned about the S dot next, that is the next statement. So, what should be evaluated after evaluating this statement, that is what we are trying to look at. So, here E dot false will be S dot next, meaning that if this expression is false, skip this, that is what is we are trying to assign here as E dot false is equal to S dot next. Then the third one is, supposing it evaluates to true, even otherwise you have to execute this statement S1, and following that you have to continue with whatever statement follows the if then construct. So, in a typical if then construct, how do we evaluate? So, you evaluate the expression, if it is true you evaluate the body and come to the next statement. If it is false, you skip the body and come to the next statement. So, anyway this statement yes will have a S dot next, and this statement S1 will also have a next statement. So, S1's next and S dot next are going to be the same, okay. So, reason behind is, if it is true you will evaluate the body and then come to next. So, if it is false you directly come to next, that is what we are trying to look at. And finally, the last one is S dot code is equal to generate E dot code followed by generate this true label E dot true, and then followed by you evaluate the code corresponding to S1. Again, as I said, S1 dot code could also be another if else, or it could be a if then, or it could be a while construct. So, that is why we normally represent here this as S1 dot code itself. Now, this assignment here will ensure that you are skipping to the corresponding label correctly. So, E dot false is equal to S dot next and S1 dot next is equal to S dot next ensures that you are going to skip correspondingly the labels and go to the appropriate position whenever a true or a false is being encountered. Okay, this is on the if then construct. Now, let us look at the if then else. This is simpler compared to if then. Again, E dot code you evaluate two labels, one is true, one is false. Now, here I have two statements, it is part of my LHS statement, that is, if expression is true evaluate S1, else evaluate S2. Okay. Again, after evaluating S1 I should skip S2, that is the body of the S2 should be skipped and go, and you have to basically go to the next statement corresponding to the LHS statement yes, okay, of the grammar yes. Now, to help do that, what we say is you evaluate E dot code, and that could be true or false. This is exactly similar to the previous situation itself. Again, E dot true will have S1 dot code, okay, and then here you issue a unconditional jump saying go to S dot next. Why? I should not even touch upon this S2 dot code. So, that is why we normally issue a go to S dot next here. So, which is going to come directly to this particular position. After that, on the other hand, if it is evaluating to false, I am directly jumping to the false label. So, I am actually skipping these two statements. So, I will come to S2 dot code. Once S2 dot code is there, I can directly flow through the control and go to S dot next. That is going to be my situation. Okay. So, this has been now converted to a SDD, a syntax directed definition, where here you will have two new labels, because E dot false will also be a new label here and E dot true will also be a new label here, because I have to run the body S1 in one particular label, I have to run S2 in another particular label. Therefore, I am defining here two new labels corresponding to true and false. Now, again here S1 dot next is equal to S dot next and S2 dot next is equal to S dot next. This is again similar to the previous one. Now, here you have two statements S1 comma S2. So, the next component correspond to S1 and the next component correspond to S2 will be the statement that is going to be following the if then else. Okay. So, therefore, which is nothing but the next statement of yes. So, therefore, here you assign S1 dot x is equal to S dot next and S2 dot next is also equal to S dot next. Now, how does the code basically should be generated? You can actually remember the previous diagram. Generate first E to E dot code, okay. Then you generate two new labels, okay. Then you evaluate S1 dot code. Then you do a gen of go to S dot next and then you evaluate S2 dot code. That should be your sequence. So, that is what we have here. So, first you generate E dot code, followed by you generate E dot 2, that is the next label, and then in that label you evaluate the code corresponding to S1, followed by you issue a go to S dot next gen. Gen again is a generate 3 address code which is going to generate to the stream in opposite with emit, where emit will generate to a output file. And then you generate a label corresponding to E dot false and then you evaluate the code corresponding to S2. Now, after S2, this assignment here will ensure that your code flows through the next statement corresponding to S. Okay. So, that is what is we have here as the STD corresponding to if then else. Now, on to while. Now, while is iterative, that is you have to keep on going back and forth till the condition is satisfied. So, it is not like the body of the while is exactly evaluated only once, the body of the while gets evaluated multiple times as long as the condition is going to be true. So, your 3 address code should basically handle this, and so what you do here is, here you are going to use the begin label corresponding to every statement. As I already said, every statement corresponds to two labels, one is a begin, other one is a next. So, here S dot begin, okay, in that what you do is you have to evaluate the first, okay, begin basically is self-explanatory. Begin means you start evaluating, do what. So, you have to begin with evaluating E dot code. So, here S dot begin, under that you have the code corresponding to you. So, E, so you evaluate that. Again this will evaluate to true or false. Okay. Now, when it is false, you have to come to S dot next, that is what I have here. Okay. So, S dot next will E dot false will be S dot next. Okay. Now, if it is true, you have to evaluate the code corresponding to S1 and you have to do a jump, an unconditional jump to S dot begin here, because you will exit only from evaluating whether it is your expression is going to be true or false. So, therefore, you do a go to S dot begin here and then you evaluate again E dot code. So, where you can jump out of this. So, this ensures that you keep on repeating this code, expression followed by S1, expression followed by S1, expression followed by S1. If expression is false, you skip S1 and come to the next statement corresponding to S. Now, this is what is done as a label. So, here S dot begin is a new label now. Okay. So, you are creating a new label and E dot true is new label as I already said, and E dot false corresponds to S dot next. So, I said E dot false is the only exit point of a while do loop. Okay. So, this is what is done, and S1 dot next is S dot begin. This is very interesting, because after you are done evaluating S1, you have to go back to S, which is nothing but the beginning of S. So, here you say S1 dot next is equal to S dot begin and you have to generate code. So, what will you generate? So, you have to first generate this label S dot begin, then you evaluate followed by E dot code, followed by you generate a label corresponding to true and then you generate code corresponding to S1 and then you generate then you issue a unconditional jump go to S dot begin. So, this statement here E dot false is equal to S dot next is already going to take care of coming to the next statement if this expression evaluates to a failure, okay, or rather falsehood. If the expression is false, you will automatically come to this next statement, that is already done here. But since you have to go back, so you issue a conditional jump, unconditional jump here, which is go to S dot begin. Now, the next one is do while statement. Now, this do while is exit controlled statement. So, the body of the loop at least gets evaluated once. Okay. So, again what I am going to do here is I am going to evaluate S1 dot code first. Okay. I am calling this as S dot begin as well as this corresponds to E dot true. But before evaluating the expression, I cannot call this as E dot true. So, I will simply call this as S dot begin itself. So what happens is, first this code of S1 will be run, okay, and S1's next will be E is begin, okay, expressions begin, and then I will evaluate the E dot code, again that could evaluate to true or false, okay. Now the true will basically go back to this begin, false will be going to the next S dot next, okay, false will be going to S dot next. So this should be incorporated into your syntax directed definition. So what will you do here is, you create a new label S dot begin, and you assign E dot true is equal to S dot begin, and you assign E dot false is equal to S dot next. Now this is what I said, you do not know true, you do not know the expression at all, so you cannot evaluate, you cannot create that as a new label, but S dot begin could be a new label, and you assign E dot true as S dot begin, and E dot false will be S dot next. That is, once it is expression is false, I have to come down. So what I do here is, I have to generate code corresponding to S1, and then I have to generate the code corresponding to E, okay, and then I have to generate a label E dot true, okay, which is nothing but going back to S dot begin. So I skipped the new label for S dot begin, but I can actually do that also. So it can be done either way. So generate E dot true, and then you generate go to S dot begin, okay. So this E dot false is equal to S dot next, that will take care of coming out of the while if there is going to be a false, if the expression is going to be false. Now a for loop, again when you look at control flow statements, we have looked at while, do while, if and if else. So nested if else can also be constructed, because anyway the statement S1 or S2 which is part of your if else or if is can be replaced with further if or if else, so that becomes a nested construct. So nested constructs can be defined looking at individual if else as it is, and then integrating everything to get your final 3 address code generated. Now a for can be considered as a while construct itself to generate 3 address code. So in a for loop you will have the body of the for loop and the body of the while loop are typically same, but the index to increment the while, okay, the for is part of the for label itself, along, whereas the while it will be in the body of the while. So just convert the for construct to a while representation, and then once you have that representation in place, I can use the 3 address code syntax directed definition corresponding to while itself to generate 3 address code for the for construct. So no specific, since for and while can be replaced one with the other, we normally go with the while constructs SDD itself for generating 3 address code corresponding to for, okay. Now we already discussed that expression which is part of, which is a Boolean expression, that is typically part of your control flow state. Expression that is going to be a Boolean expression is part of your control flow statement, and typically here this code can be generated by incorporating short circuit information also. So this section will talk about combining whatever we already know as part of control flow statements SDD along with the Boolean expressions SDD, but we will be incorporating here the short circuit information also. Now the short circuit information avoids evaluating a complete expression that is involving logical operators, okay. So for example, if I have expression as A greater than B, then the corresponding code will be, if A greater than B, go to E dot true, go to E dot false. This will be the corresponding 3 address code for this particular expression. Now rather than going it as this is how it is going to be done with in case of incorporating short circuit information, rather than generating a temporary variable and assigning a value as 0 or 1 depending upon whether the expression is going to be false or true. So this is not going to be done, you are going to deal everything with respect to this particular context. And not only that, if for example an expression is formed using E1 or E2, then if E1 is true, then this can be directly associated to E dot true. That is, I need not evaluate E2 if E1 is true, if it is going to be connected using an OR operator. Similarly, if it is going to be connected using an AND operator, okay, I will come back to that, but let us just finish this. If it is an AND operator, then if E1 is false, I need not even look at E2, okay. So on the other hand, for an OR operator, if E1 is false, only then I will evaluate E2, okay, because two expressions connected by an OR operator, if one of them is true, the expression itself is true. So, that is your understanding. So, that is used as a basis for generating 3-address code, which is actually incorporating your short circuit information. On the other hand, if it is E1 and E2, if E1 is false, okay, then we will not even look at E2. If E1 is true only, you will go to look at E2 to check whether E2 is going to be true or false. Okay. Now, this is what we are going to have here, E1 or E2, the E dot, this expression E on the LHS will have a true and a false label. So, it will be E1 dot true is equal to E dot true. So, what happens here is, if E1 is true, E is true, okay. So, you are not going to create a new label here, your ultimate aim is to evaluate, assign a true or false for this expression E. So, if E1 is true, that will result in E dot true, okay. If E1 is false, I will create a new label for E1 and I will come here where I will be evaluating E2 dot true. If E2 is true, okay, I will be generating E dot true, okay. If E2 is also false, okay, I would have looked at E2 only if E1 is false, okay. I would have looked at E2 only if E1 is already false. So, therefore, E2's false is nothing but the entire expression's false information, false state. So, therefore, this is what is incorporating short circuit. So, the code corresponding to LHS E will be generate code for E, generate a new label for E1's false, and then you evaluate E2 dot code. Now, this assignment here ensures that the LHS expression will be either a true or a false depending upon whether E1 is true or E2 is true, provided E1 is false, and both will be false if E will be false if both are going to be false. Now, the next one is, so instead of creating a new label, we directly assign it to E dot true, okay. So, now here E produces E1 and E2. Now, if E1, this is just the reverse of OR. So, if E1 is true, then I have to evaluate E2, okay. So, E1 dot true is a new label. So, this is just opposite to this. If E1 is false, on the other hand, I can directly say E itself is false. I need not even look at E2. Similarly, if E2 is true, then I can look at E dot true, and if E2 is false, definitely E is also going to, entire expression is going to be false. So, therefore, here we generate a new label for E1, so that is what is incorporated in this particular slide. So, this is E produces not E1. So, what is there? If E1 is true, E is false. If E1 is false, E is true. So, that is what we have got here. E1 dot true is E dot false, E1 dot false is E dot true, and E dot code will be the same as E1 dot code. That is what we are assigning here, but just we have changed the true and false information as given here. And here E produces open parenthesis E1 close parenthesis. In this case, E1 dot true is E dot true, both are true and both are false here, and this is the actual expression ID1 relop ID2. So, what will I generate here is, if ID1 relop ID2 go to E dot true, followed by you generate go to E dot false. So, this is what you generate. Now, this true and false will be labels, which are new labels as already discussed here, okay, or it could be the false and the true of the parent, okay. So, that is what we are looking at here. So, it could be a new label or it could be a false and true of the parent. So, that is what is generated here, and if expression is E produces true, you simply generate go to E dot true. If expression is false, you simply generate go to E dot false. So, these are same as earlier, but only this is different, where you generated it as a hyphen and then we accommodated next statement plus 3 and etc., whereas here it is going to be continuous, whereas we are going to assign a true label or a false label here. Okay, let us look at this with an example. Consider this expression A less than B or C less than D and E less than F. So, we know that AND should be evaluated before an OR. So, I am constructing my derivation tree like this, okay. So, C less than D and E less than F. Now, what happens here is, this will be evaluated first, or even if you evaluate this, it is okay. It's just that you are assigning false or true labels. So, if A is less than B, if this is true, that will be the entire expression is true. Okay, let us put it this way. If A less than B is true, that is nothing but the entire expression is true. If this is false, I have to go to evaluate E2, which is nothing but again comprised of E3 and E4. Now E3, that is if C less than D is true, I have to evaluate E4, which is evaluating if E is less than F. That will be the overall expression's true value. On the other hand, if this is false, okay, this is completely false, therefore E is also going to be false. So that is how is going to be the flow. So the interpretation is E1 dot true is E dot true. So you have to generate a false label for E1 and you will have a true label for E3, and E3 is false is E2 is false, and hence it is E is false, and E4 is true for E, okay, and E4 is false is the entire expression is false. So this will be the corresponding code. If A is less than B, go to L true, that is this is the entire expression's true value, and then here go to L. If it is false, you go to L1. L1 will be evaluating the next expression, okay. So if C is less than D, go to L2. Now if this is true, what I should check, it is an AND, right. So I have to evaluate E less than F also. If this is false, it is the entire expression is false, because I have reached L1 only when this is going to be if A less than B is false. So I would have reached L1 only if A less than B is false. Therefore, if this itself is false, then I can say the entire expression is going to be false. That is what we call as L false here. And then the next one is if E less than F, go to L true, meaning that I would have reached this position, okay. If A is less than B is false and C less than D is true, if C less than D and E less than F are true, then ANDing of these will also be a complete truth. Complete truth or a false will be a complete truth. So that is why we have here as L true. And then the last one is go to L false. Now this is one example. We are integrating now this example with the while construct to generate the final 3 address code. Let us just see that. So this is your example, while A less than B, do if C less than D, then else x is equal to y minus z. So this is the expression here. This is then if else construct. This is the statement S1, this is the statement S2, and this is the complete statement S0 of while, okay. So this is the expression for while, this is the expression for the if, okay. So in that case, this is how your derivation tree is going to look like. So first I will have S1 and this will be S1 and S2, and then this is C less than D, okay. So what will I see as explanation here? First you have to generate code for E1, you should have a go to true label, okay, and then you have to have a go to false label, and the true label will be the body of the while and the false label will correspond to the S dot next, and E2 dot code you will have to generate this, okay, and this should be done in the context of while and if else. So if then else, this is how it is going to look like. Generate E dot true, S1 dot code, and then you have to have a go to S dot next, E dot false, and then you have to have code for S2, okay. Now for a while there will be a complete go to after this, okay, there will be a complete go to after this. So there is one go to here which is an unconditional go to, and there will be one more unconditional go to which is part of the while loop, while's SDD. So therefore this is what is your scenario, S1 dot code, and then there is a go to S dot begin, okay. So these two will be used. So first is I am generating new label corresponding to as given by the while, okay. I will generate a new label corresponding to S dot begin, that is what is this L1. If A is less than B, go to L2 and then go to L next. Now this L next will be if the while itself is false, I am going to L next, which is going to be the outside the loop, and L2 will be the body of the while, which is nothing but the if then else construct. If C is less than D, go to L3, go to L4, this is the falsehood. Now what will be L3? L3 will be the body of your S1, which is T1, x is equal to T1. Now there is a go to, which is part of the if else, okay, go to s dot next, okay, which is corresponding to the next of this if else construct. The next of this if else construct is the next of this while construct. The next of this while will be going back to L1, that is going back to the begin statement. So, you have here go to L1. This has been derived from the go to, which is corresponding to the if else construct. Now, I will say this will be go to s dot next, that s dot next is this if else is s dot next. If else is s dot next is nothing but the s dot next of this statement, which is nothing but going back to L1. So, now L4 will be the else part. Again there will be a go to L1, which is this is part of your while. Okay. So, I have here, and L next will be the statement that is following your if else construct, which is outside the while. So, this will be evaluated. So, this is the example. So, this module we have discussed the control flow statements, if then else, do while, and also the Boolean expressions with the control flow statements has also been discussed, and we have also incorporated short circuit code in generating 3 address code for the same. Thank you.